Good evening. Opening up the waiting room and allowing everyone to enter the Zoom meeting. Now, this meeting is being recorded and it will be posted on our Facebook page, Wyandotte WMC-band or /band, as well as our YouTube page. So I know that there will be several people that will be unable to get in to the meeting tonight because I do have a limitation of 100 users here on Zoom. I thought about upgrading it and going to the Pro account. It's like $20 a month, and I didn't want to do that. So we're going to stick with this. Right now, I've got about 54 people that are in the room. So we're going to just keep waiting here a little bit further and see if we get some more folks joining us. Now, for the convenience of this meeting, I have muted everyone's camera. Well, actually, not the camera. You can still see each other if you choose to, but I have muted everyone's microphone. I'm going to talk for about a half an hour, and then I will unmute and open it up for questions that you might have and comments and things to help us prepare. I'm sure there are things that that you want to know that I probably won't mention. So just hold your questions, maybe jot down your question or something if you have it. And at the end there, we'll get to answering your questions. But you're here with us because you are all excited, either students or parents of the Wyandotte Marching Chiefs. We're excited to talk about our marching band and talk about what lies ahead for us in the wake of a pandemic. I did have, try not to give too many details until I get everybody in the room. I did have a brief meeting with some members of our staff, our band staff, earlier this week. I've been involved in several meetings with our administrators, back and forth emails, as well as a few phone conversations. And we're all trying to do our best to be able to get prepared for what lies ahead. Now, I'm also here on my home computer, which has got a Ethernet connection. So I'm hoping that there won't be any lag in a lot of the meetings that I've been having with students. There's been lag, and yeah, I see you guys laughing. There's been a little bit of difficulty in some of those classes. All right, so we've got 57 participants in with us right now, and it is 6:07. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to begin with just some prepared comments. And then we'll go from there. On early March, we were hitting our stride for the beginning of another chapter of the Wyandotte Marching Chiefs. We were at the beginning of our spring training and our clinics for new members. Our staff had made final decisions on our 2020 fall show design. We had contracts signed with our music composers and drill designers, as well as paid our deposit for band camp. I was in the middle of negotiations for a spring 2020 instrumental music department trip. Our percussion section had started what would be its bi-monthly clinics. Our color guard was wrapping up its competitive winter guard season and about to launch into a spring training for its new members. And our leadership training series was about to begin. On March 13th, all of that changed for us. As educators everywhere asked ourselves the same question of how we're going to make this all happen online, we slowly started to make it work. I just released our virtual band project for band and orchestra, and I've had three enthusiastic Zoom meetings every day with my classes. We've hosted a virtual talent show, and we even did a virtual induction ceremony for our National Music Honor Society. There were so many things that we would have liked to do, and I know there were many things that we didn't get to do that caused a great deal of disappointment for students involved. But right now I'm feeling satisfied that we did enough. With there being only one more week left to school officially, I'm telling my students to continue to come to class, and in the next week we're just going to talk about how it went and how we can prepare for the fall. Since March, I have been a part of a web forum of over 10,000 music teachers, all sharing our ideas for, first of all, a few weeks of online instruction, which then turned into a month and then turned into the rest of the school year. And now we're all in the same boat of wondering what the fall will look like. Myself and also my Downriver Band Director colleagues have all discussed how the COVID-19 will really change the way we normally operate as we look to the future. We still have a lot of questions, but as we did in the beginning, we will make it work. So there are several things that I'd like to discuss tonight pertaining to the marching band. And I'd like to first start with, this is every year referred to as one of the best activities at Roosevelt High School. And I think well, I know that is true. Our students are phenomenal. The way they take care of each other, the way they are a part of a larger community. You know, I had a conversation a little bit earlier today with some students dealing with community. And I think that this time now has caused people to even appreciate more the community and the teams, the ensembles that they're a part of. You know, when you're forced to stay away, it creates a stronger bond. And I think that as we come together and we start to lay out a plan for what summer and fall is going to look like, I think the commitment to being a marching chief is going to be better than ever, because our members want to be together. So what is the commitment to being a marching chief? What does that look like as a member? Well, first and foremost, the marching band is a competitive group. It's a competitive sport. It's a team sport at Roosevelt High School. And with that, every member is required to participate in our rehearsals and our competitions and our performances, football games. And from the beginning, we'll ask our members, they're signing up for marching band, to be committed all the way through the end of the season, which for us typically goes into November. Our season really kind of starts wrapping up with the Michigan Competitive Association, Michigan Marching Band Association finals at Ford Field in Detroit. And beyond that, it's the Wyandotte Thanksgiving Day Parade, or Winter Parade, or Christmas Parade, whatever you want to refer to it as. And, you know, there's a few trickle down events that happen as the season kind of continues on, and things pop up in the springtime for the band to do, like the Detroit St. Patrick's Day Parade, which was canceled this year. So we do ask our members that if they're signing up to be a marching chief, that, you know, they are going to follow it through till the end. I will share the calendar with you at the end of this meeting to let you know a little bit of what the fall will look like. And there will be a fall. We know that there will be a fall. It might not look exactly the way we've had it in the past. There are still so many questions. But we know that we need to plan ahead. We can't sit around and kind of twiddle our thumbs and wonder what's going to happen. We need to be prepared for what the fall will bring. So the commitment to being a marching chief is really one of membership and community. You are being tasked with being a part of something that many have referred to as being bigger than themselves. and we ask our members to be at every rehearsal and to give of their time to prepare, to practice, to be excellent. And if every member is excellent, then the group itself will be excellent. There's a popular saying, you know, individually and together, we can make a difference. And we ask every member to be individually committed. So that's really the commitment of a member. Now, how about a parent? What is the commitment of a marching chief parent? Well, we ask our parents to serve as volunteers. One of the things that I've been quoted in saying for many, many years is it takes a village to raise a band. And we really do have a great village of people that come together and work hard to make this program happen. It's not, I can't do it alone. I can't do it with my staff. I've got a great staff. I've got great students. We've got a great support. But really this program only happens because of the parent volunteers that make it happen. In the fall, when we have Saturday competitions, the lunch bunch that comes together and prepares food for the band on Saturday between rehearsals and getting on the buses and going to shows. The parents that volunteer for our events, the parents that chaperone our events, our uniform committee, and how they come together, prepare the uniforms and sew the uniforms and fix the uniforms, fit them, get them laundered. Our color guard parents and preparing costuming for them, our prop crew parents that work hard at making us look visually exciting while on the field. It takes a village. That's just a small list, and it takes a village of volunteers. And parents, we need your commitment too. With your students signing up to be in a marching chief, you know, we ask our parents to sign up as well and say, I'm gonna help out. I'm gonna help my student be able to have a great experience. And that's really what it's about, is the students having a great experience. A difficult thing to announce today is that there will not be an away band camp. That's a difficult thing to say. It's a difficult thing to hear, I'm sure, for our students. But as I'm sure you know, and are aware that really the writing is on the wall. It's the obvious thing that we need to do for this year's program. Now, having said that, I've already defined what it is to be a marching chief, the commitment that's necessary. I believe that that is true now more than ever, because for many people, they'll say, what's your best favorite part of marching band? And they'll say band camp. I've heard it time and time again. I heard it a few days ago from our staff as we sat and talked. Band camp, it's what we remember. We have to make new memories. So I know there are a lot of questions and what that's going to look like. I really struggled with making this announcement and making that decision. That decision was confirmed just minutes ago as I received an email from the Columbia Conference and Retreat Center stating that they are canceling all camp activity at Columbia this summer. As I talked to my other Downriver Band Director colleagues, you will see that slowly, one by one, the announcements will be coming out that these programs are moving their band camp activity to a home site, which is what we will be doing. We will be having a band camp at home. We will be having similar rehearsal schedule as what band camp looks like, similar activities as what band camp looks like. We're going to be figuring out a way to create a meal schedule so that students don't have to leave the school and can stay there to be able to eat together and hang out together and be able to create those season-long bonds, those lifetime memories and lifetime bonds. You know, I always tell this story, and some parents like to, you know, they cringe under this, but my wife and I met at band camp. there she is. We're still together.
It worked.
It worked. And, you know, that was in 1992 or 1991. And yeah, I'm old. But it wasn't an away band camp. It was an at-school band camp. We called it an intensive week. We're going to call it band camp. But it was then that we met and we formed these lifelong relationships. Not just my wife and I, but you know, my high school friends as well. And you know, this is a very difficult decision to make, but I know that it's the right decision, and I know that it will serve our program well. It will be a higher calling for our students in terms of commitment. And in the months ahead, we'll be talking about what that's going to look like and how that schedule is going to work. So what does that mean in terms of our fees associated with marching band for this year? Well, we're still asking each member to make that $150 deposit, but that's it. That's going to be the fee associated with marching band this year. Columbiaire charges us about $300, it's actually a little over $300 per student to attend band camp. And on top of those student costs, there are other band camp expenses as we pay for the bedding and the food for our parents or our chaperones that join us as well. Our staff, we pay for their bedding and for their food. So above that cost for all of the band camp students, we're also worked into their band camp costs is paying for our adults that are there. There are other fees associated with the band that have nothing to do with camp. Our uniform cleaning fee, we have a transportation fee, we have an activities fee that help us to be able to do things. Yes, we have a great budget from Wyandotte Public Schools, but we still need to collect that $150 payment to be able to operate as we have been doing in the past. Or we're going to see significant differences in what kind of band we have in Wyandotte. You know, this summer we also suffered a few other losses. The 4th of July parade was canceled by Wyandotte. Normally right now this meeting would be unveiling what our rehearsal schedule was going to be for June and how we were going to get ready for the 4th of July parade. Well, that parade isn't going to happen this year for us. Beyond that, Wyandotte has canceled the Wyandotte Street Art Fair. Well, with the Street Art Fair is a major fundraising opportunity for our students. We do the cleanup efforts for the street fair. Our music department has been doing that for over 20 years. Mrs. Kane's organization has been invaluable with that street fair cleanup effort. Students earn money to be able to go to band camp for the street fair. That's not happening this summer. We also have had the opportunity for several years. We mourn the loss of Mayor Joe Peterson. But because of Mr. Peterson, we had the opportunity to have a parking lot in Wyandotte for the street fair, which brought in thousands of dollars every year for our marching band. That money used purposefully for building props and taking care of those expenses and things that we're able to do as a band, partially paying for our show design. It was able to afford us that new golf cart that we had several years ago. That's a loss. So we're asking all of our members and all of our families to be committed to that $150 deposit, which will be the full fee for this year's marching band. Now, I think that in time like this, in the wake of this pandemic, with so many parents at home that are struggling to even know how they're going to put food on the table right now because they're without work, this should come as good news. This should come as good news that this is going to save your family's money for this year. I'm going to ask you, if you're an underclassman, to plan ahead. Let this be a time right now where you're saving money. Let this be a time where you can prepare for next year so that it's easier on your family. Now, as I mentioned earlier, in March, I was in the middle of preparations for a 2020 spring trip, and that's still being planned. We're still in the middle of finalizing some plans on taking a trip together as the instrumental music department in spring 2020. Now, I'm not going to announce that tonight, but in the weeks ahead, we hope to be able to unveil that for you. And as soon as we get final approval from the district. As you know, our district is going through some major changes right now with the announcement of the retirement of Mr. Kell and also the new position of Mr. Crawford, assistant principal, who's going to be moving away from Wyandotte. So that leaves, Mr. Reynolds right now, assistant principal. So with the changing in administration, it makes it difficult for a lot of these things to be finalized. So I just ask for you to have a little bit more patience with that. But do know that we are planning on a trip for 2021, spring 2021. Rules and procedures for marching band. I have a band camp handbook. We call it a band camp handbook. We're just going to call it the band handbook from moving forward. And this handbook's going to get put up as a PDF document that you can look at. And at the very end of it, there's the commitment form that we're going to ask every member to sign. I think now more than ever, there's parts to the rules and procedures of marching band that we need to pay very careful attention to. And that is our no hazing, no harassment, and no bullying policy. I think our marching band community, like I mentioned at the beginning, is an incredible community of people, students, parents, other adults, and it's a wonderful thing to be a part of. I also think that in every program there are problems, and we're going to be working hard this year to bring a community together that is stronger than ever. I ask you to please take a look at the rules and procedures for marching band as it comes out. For summer rehearsals, as I met with the staff the other day, one of the things that we made clear is that we were not going to meet together at all in June, and that we would start slowly coming together in July. What will that look like? Well, it will look like small group gatherings. It will look like by-section rehearsals. There will be no full band rehearsals until we know that it's safe and we know how to handle that situation. So we're looking at that to be done in August. And I've been paying attention to the CDC regulations, the MHSAA regulations that came out just a few days ago, and I now are probably going to change because the governor opened up the state to phase 4. So as those things change daily, so do our plans, and so do the decisions that we're making. So again, I ask you to be patient as we come together and figure out what July and August is going to look like. But again, we're going to need your commitment. Some of the things that we discussed at our staff meeting the other day is doing video lessons where our staff can put together a lesson. Frank Tyrabon, our visual coordinator, can put together a marching instructional video. And then as a section, you can come together in your backyards and you can watch that instructional video and go through the steps. We talked about Phil Rosas putting together a brass video that section leaders can use to be able to implement your sectionals. Percussion has already been meeting once a week, and we're going to continue to do that and then start meeting slowly with sections, just snare drums, just tenors, just bass drums, just cymbals, just front ensemble. Our color guard has already been doing peer mentoring with each other and sharing video and responding back with videos. And it's been inspiring to hear about how that's been working. But we're going to continue to do that. We're going to need every member to keep working hard at home for us to have a great season. Weeks ago, we were trying to decide, do we continue with our theme of Red Riding Hood, our fall show? And there was some discussion about, well, why don't we just do something easier since we don't know what this is going to look like? Many band directors were, and even MCBA, the Michigan Competing Band Association, kind of changed their number regulation. Instead of it being a minimum of a 6-minute show, now we're allowed to have a minimum of a 5-minute show. Because we don't know what the preparation is going to look like. We don't know what bands are going to be able to do. But we're not going to change our theme. We're staying with our show, and we're staying with our design, and it's going to be a phenomenal year. It might be different, but it's an opportunity for growth. One of the last things I want to talk about is what's going to be happening here in just a few weeks. On June 15th, it's going to be an uniform, I apologize. It's going to be a locker cleanout day at Roosevelt High School on June 15th. Now on that day, I'm going to be in the loading dock area of the school. With permission from the administration, I'm going to be collecting any school equipment that has yet to be turned in, and also giving out school equipment that needs to be given out for summer study. So if you're a new band member and you need a school instrument, in the next few days, you're going to be seeing coming out from me, Mr. Noble, Mrs. Day, Mr. Schumann, an instrument rental form, instrument contract. If you're a color guard member and you're going to need equipment, I ask you to first talk with Shannon and find out what it is that you're going to need. If you're a percussionist and you're going to need marching equipment, again, June 15th is going to be one day that's going to be able to happen. Brass players that need marching band instruments, woodwind players that need marching band instruments. June 15th is going to be our day. We want to get you guys as much equipment as you can to be able to make June and July very effective for you at home so that you're able to prepare for the season ahead. Now, there's one thing that I want to share here on my screen before I open up for any questions that you may have, and that is what we refer to as our Charms office. Now, this is a website that we use as a music department, and this website is available to you now. If you click on login and go down to parent, student, and member, all you need to do is simply log in with Wyandotte Music, all one word, and you can enter Charms. Now, in this screen, you can get to the handouts and files, and that's where I will be uploading a lot of these documents that I've shared about tonight. Or you can go to the public calendar. And that public calendar will take you through into the fall, and you'll start seeing some of the events that we have scheduled for our band. September, October, November, and it's going to be built more and more as the weeks go on. charmsoffice.com. Now, I do want to bring one more thing up, and that is everyone here tonight, parents, you're considered a Wyandotte Music Booster, and we need your support. Right now, the Music Boosters are kind of in the middle of a crossroads. We're trying to figure out a way to be able to help families make payments online. And in the process of doing that, it has been brought to our attention that we need to change some of the policies that we've had in place and either start operating as a 501c3 organization or move a lot of our finances into the Roosevelt High School accounting system. So in the weeks ahead, we're going to be talking to people about what the next step would be. And once we make that decision and we know what we're going to do, then we're going to be opening up that Charms Office website so that people will be able to have access to their student accounts. Our Music Booster treasurer, we have two treasurers at this time, Heather Hall and Charlotte McIntyre. And these two women are going to be working together along with myself and our other instrumental directors and vocal directors to be able to roll out a new plan for an online store and online payment plan for our music students. I mentioned Heather Hall. Heather Hall also serves as our volunteer coordinator for the marching band. So if you're a parent and you heard what I said earlier about the commitment of a parent to attend and help and do things, Heather Hall is the person to talk to with that. We need help throughout the season. Pulling equipment. We need people that can pull with large trucks, our 3 trailers. We just got a brand new trailer last year. We want to buy another one. And we've got a campaign out there that kind of stalled out with the pandemic. But there was a campaign out there to raise money for a purchase of a second trailer. Help us with that. Contact me, contact our booster president, Chris Calvin, contact our equipment manager, Mr. Kyle Arminiak, does such a great job. These are great people, and we need more volunteers. I thank you for listening. I'm going to keep this video recording, but I am going to unmute or give you the option to unmute yourself. And if you have a question, what I do ask is that you use the raise your hand feature, since I can't see everyone on the screen tonight. Use the raise your hand feature to be able to ask a question. We do have some staff members that are with us here tonight. If you'd like to say anything, I know that Benny Wong signed in a little bit ago. If you'd like to say anything, please let me know. I'm going to allow you to unmute yourself at this time. And I do ask that you first mute yourself so we don't hear a lot of the other background noise. So I'm going to go ahead and let Benny, did you want to chime in?
Hi, Mark. Thank you very much. Really great information meeting. It's great to see a lot of the students, and hoping you make the best of the current situation that we are in. And like Mr. Angelo said, band camp is going to be band camp. It's going to be just a little bit different, but band camp is all about people, about relationships, about the energy that we put in to make things wonderful. So I am very optimistic that it's going to be a great band camp. It's going to be a great new year marching season. It's just going to be a little bit different, but it's going to be great nevertheless. So looking forward to the season.
Thank you, Benny. Okay, so now I'm going to go over to the participants list. I'm looking for questions. So use the raise your hand feature if you have a question. I recognize you, Miss Nagy.
Oh, there it is. I raised my hand.
I did unmute myself.
Miss Nagy?
I'm sorry to ask this, but for the Google form, I had it written down, but then I lost the link.
That's no problem.
Like in the chat. I'm sorry.
No problem. So what she is asking about is the Google form, which is our membership roster. So what that does for me, that's kind of like step one in your commitment to the marching band, okay? So if you're thinking about doing marching band, we ask you to fill that out. That gives me contact information for you, so that I'm able to, like tonight, I shared this video link through the emails that were in that document. So what I will do on our Facebook page, which is, I'm going to share my screen right now again, just to take you to that. Our Facebook page, our official Facebook page for the band is, let me get to Facebook here because I don't have it open on my computer. Our official Facebook page for the band is facebook.com /WMC.band. And it should open up here. Hey, that's not it. When minds collide. That was interesting. There we go. Wyandotte Marching Chiefs -band. WMC.band. That's what I typed. Oh, I forgot groups. Facebook.com /groups/WMC.band. That's our official Facebook page for the band. I will be posting in there, and you will be able to see those documents. Now, also in the weeks ahead, if you haven't already, we're going to be moving a lot of what we do onto another application that can be used on your phones, and that is called the Band app. Now, we already have a Wyandotte Marching Chiefs Band account, and when more and more people get into that, we'll be able to utilize that for communication as well. But the first step to membership is filling out that membership form, okay, Google form, and I will make sure that that link is available. It was sent in the email, in the letter that was written and sent out May 4th. There is a link in that letter to the Google form, so you can see. Okay, I'm going to recognize Ms. Remisowski.
This is Lacey. So I was wondering, on June 15th, since I'm planning on doing color guard this year, would I need to go and grab the sousaphone out of my cubby thing and bring it out to you, or no?
No, if you're turning in an instrument, that's a great question, Lacey. Thank you very much. If you're turning in an instrument that is at the school, you don't need to do anything, okay? If the instrument's at the school already, we will take care of it from there. If you have an instrument at home that belongs to the school and you're going to return it, we're going to ask you to bring that in on June 15th. Now, if you are going to renew a contract for an instrument, or you need an instrument that's at the school, we're going to ask you to fill out that paperwork in advance to come into the school. Don't show up in the loading dock area and stand there and ask for the paperwork and I need to fill it out and all this stuff, because we're going to be practicing social distancing and it's going to be difficult. So I'm going to want you to come with paper in hand. Here's my instrument rental form, boom. And then I can have that instrument inside prepared for you and be able to bring it out. Now, the school itself is limiting 10 people in the building at a time that day for lockers clean out. So it's going to be kind of a challenging day. So again, I ask everyone to be patient. Lacey, I'm excited to hear that you're thinking about doing a color guard this year. Good for you. I know you're going to do great. Okay, I'm going to recognize another question, but I don't know the name here. It is SPRPRODDFW's iPhone.
Oh, that would be mine, Ms. Garza.
Hi.
Hi. My daughter's a new student coming into Roosevelt, and while she was at Wilson, we paid $200 into her band booster for her Cedar Point trip, and they ended up canceling that trip. I was told that the money would carry over.
That's correct.
Could that be used towards a $150 payment?
Absolutely, yes. What we've done in a number of years is whenever a student enters Wilson and they are in the music department, Wilson and high school is one music department in our mind, all of those, what we call student accounts, stay with the student until they graduate. So any money that they've fundraised for or the deposits that have been made in those student accounts can be used for, any of our events. So you are right to say that any money that was paid for Cedar Point, if you did not get it refunded to you and you kept it in your account, that can be applied to this $150 payment for band camp.
Okay, and my next question is, I know that we're supposed to pay $40 for shoes. Is that able to come out the account too, or do we pay at the time we pick up the shoes?
No, that can also, because that's an extra part of the uniform, and those are personal shoes. Those can be paid for from the account.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And no, I'm glad you brought that up. So in that Google form, one of the last few questions there, it says shoe size, and it says, will you be needing band shoes? Now, if you're a color guard person, we ask you to put that information in there for you as well. But usually what happens for color guard is I'm told by your coaches, Jordan and Shannon, like this is the list of people that need the shoes and the sizes. And then we do the order for everybody, okay? And again, that can come out of your band account, or you can make an additional payment for that if you need to. But I do ask that in that, if you're a new member or you're a returning member and you know you need new shoes, to fill that part out so that we know going into August who we need to buy new shoes for. That's been a problem in the past, where shoes hadn't been ordered for people because they didn't fill out this form at the beginning of the season, and that you weren't on our list of people that needed shoes. Okay, Hannah.
Hello, it's actually me. Hannah's here with me. But my question is, do you need volunteers for June 15th?
That's a great question. And my first response is yes, of course. But I have to find out from administration really what that will look like. Okay?
Okay.
So thank you so much for saying that. And I appreciated very much receiving your email the other day too that talked about, wanting to help and be involved. So thank you. I know that you're busy with your classroom yourself and everything that you're doing. So I appreciate that very much that you want to be involved here. So let me get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, Heather Hall.
I hit the wrong button. I meant to hit chat to respond to somebody. They had a question about where to send the money.
Yes, thank you. All money can be sent directly to Roosevelt High School. Now, Heather and I had a text conversation earlier today, and when she had thought about some other ways to get money sent in. I think the best place right now for anything to be sent would be Roosevelt High School. Okay, now Cindy Duda is our former Music Booster treasurer. If any document that you have from past years has her address on there, don't send her any money. Okay, she has officially retired as being our Music Booster treasurer. And she served the program for over 20 years, and she's a phenomenal lady. But just to make things easier for everyone, if you're sending in money, first of all, checks are payable to the Wyandotte Music Boosters, okay? Not Wyandotte Marching Chiefs, but the Wyandotte Music Boosters, okay? If you're gonna write a check. And that can be sent to Roosevelt High School. Now the address, 540 Eureka Road, Wyandotte, 48192. Just send it right there. Just put right on it, Wyandotte Music Boosters, and it will get right into the mailbox and then get right over to our treasurers and be deposited. Thanks for that question, Heather. Okay, I'm gonna take a look here at the chat box and see if there's any questions that I need to address here. I really appreciate everyone's time and attention here tonight. Benny, you're being requested for wake-ups during band camp, so we have to figure out how we can do that. I love it. Okay.
Hey, Mark, can I share something?
Yeah.
Host disabled participant screen sharing. Okay, I don't think I can share.
I can. Let me change that for you, Benny, if you want to share something. Hold on, I will get that to you.
Technology is wonderful. You just got to figure it out.
All right, go for it.
Okay, share. Okay. I have, where is, oh. So Mark, to tempt everybody about what band camp would be like, I just want to play this. It's a 4-second snippet, but that's just a little, you know, dangling a little bit in front of everybody at our expectations for band camp.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So that was a clip. I don't know if you can hear that at home, but that was a clip of us doing a fire drill at band camp. And we did not have access to our megaphone fire alarm. So that was just a clip of me yelling, fire, fire, whoop, whoop. So thank you, Benny, for bringing that back up and helping us all relive that wonderful memory. All right. I, again, am so grateful that you all tuned in tonight. I will be making this video available on the Facebook page as well as on our YouTube page. You know, it's going to be a different year, but the Marching Chiefs are going to move on. We will march on, and it's going to be an exciting season. So thanks for being here. Thank you for being so flexible and being willing to be a part of a change as we move forward with the Wyandotte Marching Chiefs. Thank you guys, and good night.